Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Lui Nishmas. I'm Yaakov Shalom Leah Basra. We're holding Basra Daf Ayin. We're reading Daf Ayin. That's a big accomplishment. You're going to Daf Ayin. It's getting to the 70th or 69th blot of the Masechta. Says the Gemara in the third line. Chutz michoruv ploini, chutz misodon ploini mau. He said, except for this specific carob tree. Or he said, except this sodom, which is another type of tree. That's what he comes to exclude. Mau. If he says only specifically them, so then they are excluded, the chor of the carob. Hashar charuvim koni. It means to say the other ones are koni. Odim hashar charuvim namali koni. In other words, what are you talking about? We learned in the Mishnah that the older carob trees and the older sedum trees are not sold with the field. But what about if he specified except this one? Maybe then he means to say, but the rest will be. Omalei lo kona. So no, he's not creating the rest. He's not. Even though you specify one out. So if it says, clearly in this case, except that specific carob, that specific sodom, lo kona. So he's not creating it. My lavo is the he's not creating that one, he's creating the others. He's not creating it neither. Pay that makes sense. And here comes what the Rashbam explained to us earlier. Why is a chorv and a soda not sold? They're considered to be independent fields, not part of the field. Says the Gemara. A guy goes, Reuben sells to Shimon a field. The field which is between Lawrence Avenue and Wedgwood. He says, by the way, I'm not selling you my field in Lord. Of course it's not sold. So you want to tell me he's selling not everything else he has? The fields he has in Far Rockaway? The fields he has in Manhattan? No. I sold you one field. The fact that I added the words and said, and not this, doesn't mean I'm including everything else. I'll just give you one example. I'm selling you this, but not that. You think that is included. It's not included. Of course, nothing else is included either. So that's what the Gemara says. Teida. I'm selling you this field, except that specific field. You want to tell me that he's not creating that, he's creating others? Of course not. Of course, that's not true. Same thing over here. You're not creating. So that is one way to bring this. That was the question of Achbaruna from Rasheshis. Ikadari. Meaning, he didn't say except that tree. He said except that half tree. Except half of that tree. That's Pasha. He's not creating the rest. But here he gave a tree. He said, I'm selling you a field, which usually does not include the carobs. The carob trees. It says, you see that carob tree, left, right corner? Half of it is not yours. Half of it is yours. So maybe the half is included. That makes a little more sense, right? In the terms of the surah. Because I already talking about that specific carob tree. I'm telling you, half of it is not sold. Half of it is sold. Says normally loikoni. No, he's not creating that half. He brings another brayso. Chutz b'chatzi choreb ploini, chutz b'chatzi sodom ploini. He's talking about specific, the choreb and the sodom. Shar cheruvim loikona. He's not creating the rest. Ma'ilav shar cheruvim loikona. He's not creating the rest of the other trees. Mashashir b'yisachorv kono. But the rest of this tree is koine. Omalei loy. Afilu mashashir b'yisachorv nam loikona. Even what's left over from that tree is not koine. Why? Similar to what we said before. Even though right now it's a little more understood, the havamina, but the maskana stays the same. He said, I'm selling you my field in Lawrence Avenue. I'm not selling you half of Herrick. Is he koine the half? He said, I'm not selling you half in Lord. That was the example before. So the other half I am selling. In other words, this is what Rashbam points out over here, based on what we learned earlier as well. This is considered an independent, separate field. It's not standing with everything else. So because it's not standing with everything else, it's standing on its own. So that's why it's not included. It It's not that it's excluded from the field, because even though it's part of the field, it's excluded. It's considered to be standing on its own. So if so, it's not part of the field. So okay, so that was that part regarding exclusions, including and not including. We talk about these trees which are not included in the field. Now the Gemara, after a few dapim of very technical sugyas that have to do with, what's included, what's not included, in a chotzer, in a ear, in a bais, in a sadeh. Now we are going to a sugya which is a back to we'll call more lundish sugya of Niziki. Someone puts deposits by his friend with a shtar. He writes in a shtar, I'm depositing my item by you. Reuben goes to Shimon. He says, Shimon, where's my item? What do you mean? I thought I'd give it back to you. So he says, here's my shtar. You can give it back to me. If you give it back, I'll give you back the shtar. Mal. If you would say, this guy would say, I lost it. I'm sorry. Nensu. It wasn't my fault. I mean, not nevdu, but netsu. Netsu means a thief came with a gun and took it away from me. I apologize. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't want to give it to him. But he took it from me. It's oinus. Is it shoyer potter and oinus? Yes. Shomechinum and shomesocher potter and oinus. So potter and he could have said nensu. Hashtanah min memot. It'll give him a migoi. The migoi you could say got lost. It got stolen, got taken. And he has a migoi you could say, I gave it back to you. He says, at the end of the day, the star is a riot. Star is a riot. He is Nehemon. He says, 1 second. He says, yeah, whatever he says, it got stolen. It got stolen by force. Is oinus. Can he show the star? No. So he has a migor. End of the story. Says the Gemara, Omerlei, with the final base, so you said, Ki Omerlei Nensu, lav shvua boy. Okay, I hear. But you need a shvua. When a person says that this thing got lost, got stolen in a way that he could do it, he needs a shvua. Hachanami me nemon, my nemon shvua. So he has to do a shvua. He doesn't have more koyach than he had before. You're right. You will be nervous. I give it back to you. He didn't give it back. Here's the shtar. He said, I give it back to you. Give a shvua. The same way you can give a shvur, the same way as a shvur before, is a shvur as well. The Rashbam says something interesting to know. He says that by halva, by a loan, it's different. Why? Because by halva, says the Rashbam, they can't say nensu. I don't give a God loss, you still have to pay it back. So by a loan, there's no nensu. The whole reason why Pikot didn't work, I could say nensu, because there was a highness. By halva, I can't say nensu. So therefore, it's not part of this cheshbon. The Torah goes on to say that this concept that he adds to it regarding something else, that by a loiv, we learn the loiv trusts the malvin. Because the fact that he gave him money, he lends him money, means it's tzaddik. So he trusts him more. That's why it's more of a reason. Halva is different than pikad. Says the Gemara, Leimo beplukto dain tanoi. Chutz m'chlokis al fang tanoi. Netanya. Shtar kis hayoytze aleisayim. Right, so what is a shtar kis hayoytze aleisayim? What is he talking about? So this, we learned in Mesechus B'Matzio, that shtar kis we're talking about, that is half a loan and half a pikadon. Right? Half of it is a loan, they have to give back. And half of it is a pikadon, that means they have to give, it's a loan that they could use and give back. That's your responsibility. Half is a pikadon, they could do a business and give back whatever profit they made to the owner. Shtar kis hayoytze aleisayim. Dayoni goy la'amri, nishbo v'goy v'kulun. He does a shvur and takes the whole thing. He can be with a shvur, goy only half. That's what it says. So what's the choy of the machlekes? We're talking about a product which is half milveh, half pikadon. The shaila is, how can we the shtar and say, this whole thing you owe me? So Bishra halvo, I have a shtar against you. Pikadon, I have a migoy. Ah, machlekes, does a migoy work? The same discussion regarding pikadon. Does it work or not? So says more. The kulam. I'm going to try to explain the machlekes. Kulam islu dar do damina do Hi isko palga miva palga pikodim. The isko is half a loan, half a pikodim. My labak, what's my like is the master of Matzi Omer Leishtoch building my boy. Master loy. So he's saying, regarding the half milva, of course you take it back. Regarding the half pikodim, that's machlokes. Machlokes is our sugya. Can I tell you what is the shtar doing? I mean, Amri the kula Ami Suda Rav Chizdo. Everybody agrees with Rav Chizdo that by pikodim you don't say it. For the master of Iso the parim mi marav Omar. No, here is different. Because here, or you talk about these orphans. Orphans don't know what happened. They have no clue how it worked. So you want to say Nensor on their behalf. The father probably tells that. If the father never said it, I'm assuming it wasn't Komnenas. Another one says, you know why he didn't say it? Because he died. He died too early. So it's a machlokes in a svara. Do we assume you would tell us or not? Says the Gemara, Sholach Ravuno Bar Avin Amavketz Chavir B'Shtar V'Amar Lo Yichzar Telechon Neman. Oh, so we have over here, someone was mafket to his friend B'Shtar. He said, "Give it back to you." He's Neman. Why? As a migu. Shtar Kisa Yitzal Yisoyimim. The case, the second case that we had. You have a shtar gets a Yisoyimim half a mil without pikodim. Nishba B'Goyvet Kulo. He takes the whole thing. So what Tarite, that seems to be a contradiction. We just pointed out as a contradiction. Same answer. Shani also Nimis the Parimi Mavo. No. By Yisoyimim, assuming it wasn't Nenas, because the father would tell us. So assuming it was not Nenas. But regular pikodim, he has a migu than answer. So it was a shvur, and he's goyve half. Meaning he could take for the Yisayimim, takes only the milk and not the pikodim. He passed like Deyoni Goylo, that say Nishba v'goyve kulay. Why you say like this? Rava said that we do only have to pass like the other shita. Anon the Deyoni Goylo we say the end girl the opposite we said before, right? As they look at the last Rashbam, they also say half. So that is what the gear says. Now here we mentioned it already before. When the Gemara comes, it says I have the opposite. So what was even the question? He didn't know. The question Pshat is he didn't know it was the opposite. He said, "Okay, what did you say? Let me hear how you said it." And he says what he said. Oh, so your gear says that the Yoni Goylo is the one who says Mechza. And we're the ones who say, no, it's Kuloi. So now that we say Mechza, we pass really, you do Mechza, that's what you do. And it could be either because we hold the Pikodoin, you have a Migoy, or, not either. It has to be because you have a Migoy. And when the Yisoyimim die, the Yisoyimim would hang for the Yisoyimim, what the father would be Toyin. We'll stop over here in this daf, continue for the Mishnah in tomorrow's daf. Kol Tov.